people in the villa were just like, whatever, she's from Australia. She'll just go back to Australia.
Yeah.
Which meant like, for some reason, my emotions didn't matter as much.
I would actually come out and say that I wasn't a typical Love Island type.
I thought you were great. You were my favourite person on the show. And I think, like...
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
2.5 years down the line. Yay.
I feel like I've seen stuff about Reading and Leeds Festival. I didn't think it would be as fun as it was. It was so fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So much funner than Coachella. And we have a huge announcement, which is really exciting.
But me and Jessie are starting a brand. How cool is that? Hello and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast hosted by myself, Will Young, and my beautiful girlfriend, Jessie.
We have a lot to cover today.
A lot.
We got so much to tell you about. We have just got back from Reading Festival, so we're going to be telling you all about that. But in today's episode, we are going to be going through our trending tea, and we have a huge announcement, which is really exciting.
Yeah, so we actually announced it on the socials a couple of days ago. But me and Jessie are starting a brand. How cool is that? And it is, it's actually it's a brand quite close to our hearts.
Yes.
So it's all about British seasonal produce designed to support your body, brain, and well-being.
We can't actually tell you the nitty-gritties of what it is right now, but we're at the stage where we were like, we're going to just start telling you. And to make sure that we get it as perfect as possible for you guys, we do have a few surveys that we would love for you to do for us. So
please do. Actually, get on. So it's link in bio. It sounds super dodge. I absolutely hate going link in bio, sign up in the link in bio, but you actually do. And there are surveys that you're going to have to fill out. And this is just so when we finalize and have the completed brand, it's what you actually want. I feel like there's so many brands that come out or so many bits and bobs that comes out where the audience aren't asked actually what they want. And we want this to be specifically what you want. And the survey will help us understand your needs a little bit better.
Overconsumption is just such a big thing in the world right now. And I personally do not think there's any point bringing out something that people don't actually need. And if we are to bring something out, we want it to be in that price range that suits you. Like,
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So we're just like, whatever. We feel like a little bit desperate asking for people to fill out a survey. But I just think, why the fuck not? Why? We always talk about communication on the podcast. So let's communicate here, dolls. Tell us what you want.
Exactly. And it will actually it's so helpful and useful, the information for us. Like we said, because then we can actually pinpoint specifically what you all want. But the main ideas and the things that are quite close to us.
Will is a farmer and I come from a background in like fitness, the health industry. I've studied nutrition in the past.
Yes, she has.
So we wanted to do something that works for the both of us and where we can actually put our passion in. And we thought if we want to do a business or if we want to bring out something, it has to be something that we want to talk about. We're passionate to talk about all the time.
And something to benefit you all.
All of us.
So benefits your body, your mind, your well-being. And we feel really strongly we don't want there to be additives. We don't want it to be over-processed food. We want to actually educate you about the different foods because I don't think a lot of people know this, but actually we should eat with the seasons. There's so much produce and accessibility with food. We forget that you should be eating with the seasons because certain seasons you need certain sorts of food.
Nutrients. Oh my God, he's learning.
Exactly. So we want to educate you, but in a really fun way. That's why you've got two young, hip Gen Z people going to be talking to you about it. And the most beautiful thing, we want to design this with the community that we're building. We want everyone to have their input, if that's kind of like recipe cards, recipe boxes, what's actually going to go into these boxes, if it's meals, there's a whole load of things that we need to discover and build together.
Yes.
More importantly, we're going to be doing loads of activities. One of the cool things that we can offer you, possibly, this is still a maybe, but farm visits, coming to the farm, doing cook-alongs on the farm, connecting people back with food. I think there's a huge disconnect with consumers and producers, people not actually knowing where the food comes from, what's actually inside of the food. So we're going to hopefully bridge that gap, educate you, have some fun along the way.
And one thing that's really important for us as well is sustainability and supporting and backing British farmers. So at the moment, it will be based within the UK, but if you're not in the UK, we still really want to know your input and hear from you, because who knows, it could branch out. But at the moment, we are really focusing on backing British farmers.
Yeah.
And something that's so important for ecological sustainability is reducing those food miles and buying locally, which we're just so passionate about this, because what we're doing, we really believe it's going to be good for your body, good for your mind, it's going to be good for educating you, and good for the environment. So we're just so passionate about this.
And it's going to be good. So yeah, please, I don't want it to be very addy. This isn't an ad. We're not selling. Like, we just need your information.
Do you know, we have been working on this for months and months and months.
Yeah.
Like, it's been behind the scenes, meeting after meeting, just so much stuff we have been doing, and we can finally let you know and tell you, because, you know, I find it like so funny when influencers are like, I'm working on a big project.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
That's been us. It's been 6 months of having to try keep our lips sealed.
It's kind of cringe though when you think about it, isn't it?
Something big's coming.
Something big, a big project, a huge announcement. It's all coming. But hopefully what we're going to try and do with, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen, we're going to try and link so you can go directly from the link.
We'll pop that in the show notes.
And help us fill out the survey. And if you're on YouTube, we're going to do the same. So you can just follow the link. And please let us know if you've done it. Message us, please. This is very interactive. And yeah, so let's begin this journey. Moving on to the trending tea of the week.
Tea time.
Yeah, so everyone would have seen this. Cristiano Ronaldo's got engaged, but that's not actually what we're talking about. We're talking about the big fat diamond ring that's on his fiance's finger or hand. It's big enough to fit across 4 fingers.
It's literally bigger than this Polaroid camera. It's like huge.
Yeah.
I don't even know what color the band is.
Yeah.
I can just see that diamond.
I know.
I thought it was a meme.
Surely,
I didn't think it was real.
Surely you can't actually be going out and wearing that. Like,
Literally,
I would be embarrassed. Like,
weigh your arm down.
Is it not? I would be embarrassed. Like, it's like the size of my fist on her finger.
I mean, I don't know if I'd be embarrassed. Like, that thing is worth a lot.
No, but it's huge.
It's not.
It's like too big.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's not convenient. It's not functional.
No, so it's 50 carats and apparently estimated to be between 3 and 5 million pounds. And I've got something for you, Cristiano Ronaldo. You're cheap. So Cristiano Ronaldo is on about 3 to 4 million pounds a week. So we only spent a week's wage of his fiance. And we've discussed this previously in the pod. It should be 3 months of your salary.
Not 3 days.
Yeah, 3 months of your salary. So I've got one thing for you, Cristiano Ronaldo. You're cheap.
I can't believe he gets paid that much.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it something stupid like $340 a minute he gets paid? Something ridiculous.
He's on
I don't even know.
$500 million in 2 years or something stupid like that. And
why do you even need that much money?
I think he is now the first billionaire footballer. No, he's not, because I think someone plays football whose family a billionaire, but he's a billionaire in his own right from football.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But we want to know from you, what do you think of this engagement ring? If you haven't seen it, if you go look it up on Google, you find it everywhere.
It too big? Is it too big?
I would not complain. That thing is worth more than all my assets put together, I think. So I would not be complaining with that on my finger. You know what I mean?
It is. I'm just like, come on, that's too big. You can't be wearing that out and about either.
Yeah, but sis is locked in for life. She's like, even if they get divorced or whatever, she's got money. She sells that ring. Let us know what you think, though, in the comments. My bit of trending tea for the week. So, Love Islanders, Tony, Yasmin, and Shakira did a very iconic photo shoot. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but they just look incredible.
Well, if you haven't seen it, what rock are you living under? Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo's fiance's rock.
I mean, everybody's seen it because I think Charlie XCX even reposted this photo to her story, which is like, oh my God, I would be like hyperventilating.
We're jealous.
We're jealous, but in a good jealous way.
Charlie, post me, please.
And Cara Delevingne also reposted the photo, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So unlike your standard Love Islander, these 3 divas have come off and actually done a editorial shoot with ID magazine. And in the shoot, they're rocking a very like edgy. It's kind of giving like 90s Kate Moss energy. I would say like Skins.
Smoky.
Yeah, they've got the smoky eye. And they look phenomenal, but it's just so refreshing seeing Love Islanders come out and do something different, because I do think Love Islanders are often associated with the, like, say, PLT.
It was a cool shoot.
It was a really, really cool shoot.
It was very, very cool. And yeah, like Jessie said, it's like, and I feel like that's why they're getting praised and people are enjoying this shoot, is because it's not the typical Love Island route when you come off. You're not doing Heat, The Sun, you know, all of those classic tabloids. This is like this step up.
And ID magazine is known as like a high fashion editorial magazine as well. So instead of coming off and doing something with The Sun, I mean, these girls slay.
Yeah.
In the article, they do also speak about how they felt isolated in the villa and how they found it like very high school like.
Yeah.
And they kind of felt like outsiders, which I really resonate with that. I think it's so great hearing them talk about it. But what I really like to see even more is them owning it.
Yeah.
Like they felt as though they didn't fit the Love Island mold, and they've come out and said, well, guess what? Like this, there is no Love Island mold. There shouldn't be a Love Island mold. They're being role models and using that to their advantage. And I think it's just like, I love seeing it. So iconic.
That's what happened with us. When we came off, we kind of like, we weren't within that Love Island bubble or your typical Love Island type anyway, and we were a little bit isolated. So and it's nice because that's how I would have described Love Island experience. It is like you're at school. You feel like you have the cool and the popular people, the people who are like liked, and it is, although people probably do say, oh no, we're all friends, because that's one of the interesting things that was written as well. You had one side of the girls coming out and speaking to the tabloids going, there wasn't a divide. And then these three came out and was like, yes, there was.
Yeah, the divide always happens in Love Island.
You can't expect 12 people going in when emotions and feelings are involved with other people, and expecting everyone to be friends and coming out, which is, and it's nice. And it's like, it's very authentic. Yeah, it's like you're honest. You're very, very honest about it.
And it's kind of like, I feel like Love Islanders often come off the show and just try to patch things up and maybe dismiss the behaviours and
depending what edit you got, you'll be
it's all the edit.
Or depending how you were perceived, whether you're going to be on the patching up or not.
I do think it is one thing to patch things up, but I also think it's really important to take accountability with that. And I feel as though with Love Island and Shakira, Tony and Yasmin saying that they did feel isolated, that's a feeling. They're so valid to always feel that, whereas the other people were saying, no, there wasn't a divide.
Yeah.
You can't say that they didn't feel isolated because you weren't in their shoes.
100%, yeah.
But I do remember, like with Love Island, when even to this day, people often say, "Will, you don't look like a Love Islander." Like, what do you mean you don't look like a Love Islander? Love Islanders is supposed to be just like anyone. Anyone can be a Love Islander.
Yeah, I do get that, but I would actually come out and say that I wasn't a typical Love Island type.
Yeah, but why?
Because probably I'm just too cool. Maybe.
Yeah, but I feel like you even feel that you feel as though you're not the typical Love Islander. And I feel like I thought you were great. You're my favourite person on the show. And I think like,
well, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. But you were a lot of other people's favourites.
2.5 years down the line. Yay.
Well, I personally think the show would have been boring without you, but obviously you were like my best friend in there.
Love Island boys definitely have or Love Island, there's a big stereotype around what sort of person goes on.
100%. But I like to see like people breaking down those stereotypes.
You also had your fair share of isolation within the villa as well?
Yep. Yeah, wasn't that fun? I actually, when Tony came on as an American person coming into that villa, I like empathized with her a lot.
Yeah.
Because I just know what it was like coming in.
Especially from a different country, because I think that's one of the scariest things is because, you know, each country has their own way of how you interact with people. Do you know what I mean? And you might not get all of the jokes or understand what's being spoken about, or, you know, if you were talking about something that's going on in the world or in England, you'll probably sit there and be like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh my God. I was always like, I never knew what you guys were talking about. Even talking about sports and stuff, if I were to speak about like AFL or I would just use words and no one would understand what I mean. And I think as well, you do start to overthink it when you're the one person that's not from within those tight knit groups, it's always like going back to the feeling of it being like school. I felt like I was like on student exchange or something. And it's like
you kind of were.
You wanted to
You weren't the exchange student. You kind of were.
You wanted to get to know me and you took me serious, but I feel as those people in the villa were just like, whatever, she's from Australia. She'll just go back to Australia, which meant like for some reason my emotions didn't matter as much. And even when it came down to challenges and stuff, it's always easy to pick on the person that's from like the different place. And I'm sure Love Island's not the only place that this type of behaviours happen. But being someone who like experienced that when Tony went on, I really empathise with her. But I love coming out and seeing her fucking slay. And all three of them, Shakira, Yasmin, Tony, icons. Absolute icons.
Something that's been spoken about a lot as well is Love Islanders and brand deals and whether people are actually getting brand deals or if they're not, how that whole situation works.
I've seen so many like TikToks and news places making TikToks and articles about this. So I thought, you know what? We've actually kind of been through this ourselves. So we'll tell you what we think about the Love Islanders and the brand deals.
One of the main things when coming out of the villa, which is obviously quite important for the Islanders, is actually getting the correct management and getting management because they're the ones that actually sort out the brand deals. It's a lot more difficult doing it on your own. You don't know how to price yourself. You don't know how much you should be selling, I guess, your content for. So getting management where I feel like specifically this year it has been quite slow with people.
I think it's usually quite slow though. People do wait and like not everyone gets management at the same time. I feel as though some people actually get management before going into the villa. And then you get people that do it when they come out. And I think as well with the management, if you don't have management and there's no email on your profile, brands will just wait till there's an email. Not having the email is a huge thing, not having that in the bio. But as well, brand deals take a long time to actually sort and get approved. So with brand deals, most of the time, I feel like, you know, some of the clothing ones where you're just posting a photo, that can happen very fast.
Also, it's something good to mention. PLT isn't about it really anymore. PLT was like the big Love Island brand. When you came off, PLT would be like throwing you brand deals. PLT, is PLT even a real thing anymore?
They're about, I think, but I don't know where they are.
Yeah, so that was very Love Island-y.
And I think PLT have said that they're not working with Love Islanders anymore. But even going back to that, so back when, even like when we first come off the show, PLT, with that, it's generally you wearing an outfit and posting a photo or maybe a TikTok. When you're doing campaigns, these campaigns usually go from the brand to an agency, a creative agency who write the campaign, then someone approves the campaign, then back through to the talents management. And then like each bit of content, each idea, each concept has to sift through all of those. Like it just goes forever. There's contracts involved. It's a lot of work to actually secure yourself a campaign, unless I guess clothing brands are probably the easiest to do.
Yeah, clothing brands are quite quick. But like, for example, I got a campaign in like last year in October and it wasn't filmed until March. Like that is it does take a long time. And also what you've got to keep aware of is these Islanders are technically still signed to ITV. So any brand deals that come in have to get approved with ITV before doing it. Which basically means a lot of actually clothing brands, because eBay's a sponsor, you probably won't be able to do clothing brands before your contract's up. Boots, that's correct. Boots.
Yeah, boots.
So makeup, I presume only the makeup you can do will be within Boots because you can't go against the competitor brands. With ITV, I think people don't know as well.
So even when we came off, the brand deals actually didn't happen until 3 months after because you couldn't unless they weren't a competitor. However, you could go to brand events. So even though you weren't actually getting paid to go to the brand events, it looks like they're doing a campaign and working with brands. Does that kind of make sense? So it's like it was creating the illusion for that first 3 months that, you know, we were getting brand deals and stuff, but it takes forever to come through.
100%.
And on that note, sis over here still waiting for All Star to pay me my 30K, but...
We actually did speak to someone. I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to dob them in, but All Stars owes one of her friends money as well.
Yes, this talent agency, like, what are you doing? Stealing all our money. I asked him, I was like, hey, can you pay me one day? And he said, oh, no, sorry, I'm at Disneyland. all right, okay, that's fine. Enjoy your holiday, babe. Enjoy your holiday. Message him like a month later. Oh no, we're moving office.
Yeah.
Babe, you're moving offices with my money. I'll come in.
Yeah, we're actually going to come in.
Go see the office that my money funded.
Yeah, literally. Something that also you need to take into consideration with brand deals, market is competitive.
The market is competitive.
And we've got about 1 billion Love Islanders these days.
Yes, and it is good for Love Islanders to take their time when they come off the show. We actually said this when we came off the show. The first thing to focus on is our relationship.
Yeah.
Then when we were feeling comfortable within our relationship, a few months down the line, that's when we started to like invest in our career.
Yeah. We weren't too bothered about brand deals when we came out.
No, not the start. When I did Love Island Australia and I came off, I didn't even know you got paid. I just thought you got the free products.
Well, I got
free products.
I got offered to do a tour around the UK, a clubbing tour. Do you remember that?
Yes.
A party tour. And I was just like, I don't know if that's me.
Oh my God, I was like hoping in my head that you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I remember when you said about it, I was like...
Then we booked up for it was like a complete tour of the UK of like 16 different clubs going to for 3 months.
You could have made a lot of money as well. But then again, like, does that align with what you want to be doing?
No, because I had to come home and lamb sheep at the farm in April.
Yes, that's what we did. That was so cute. And then we went back to Australia.
Then we went to Australia. We did a lot of travel.
Yeah, see, all these new Love Islanders that have just come off the show, they will be navigating so much at the moment.
Yeah.
They're going through a lot.
And having fun. Like
Yeah.
I think you forget how much fun it is when you coming out. It is very, very intense, but also you're then like going to really cool events where you've probably watched the people who are in the same room on like telly or socials. You get invited to like these amazing restaurants where you gobble down the food and it's delicious.
Oh, the restaurant.
Yes, like you get and it is all about just taking it in and having a good time. And yeah, and I feel like the biggest thing is actually finding, if you want to do social media or content creation, is that actually finding your niche and being like, what are you going to post? Like, what is your content?
Oh, it's a lot. There's so much to figure out, especially say like Tony. She's come off into another country. It's so relate to you there. When I came back to the UK, I didn't have any of my own clothes. I was wearing Will's clothes every day.
Yeah, Jessie was looking
and
like
I was
a
like,
tomboy.
I had to sort out my visa. It's really stressful. I mean, the last thing is kind of, you're thinking about brand deals. We went months without even focusing on our finances. So don't underestimate the Islanders yet.
Oh, no, 100%.
I'm sure really big, exciting things are to come, like them coming on this podcast.
Exactly.
I mean, they probably have better things to do because a lot of them aren't replying, but we're trying for you. So we do actually get your requests for when you request people to come on the podcast. It's not that we have grudges against anyone. We ask them. We ask their managements, but unfortunately not everyone wants to come on, so...
People, I wouldn't say about wanting to come on. I would say they're busy.
No, but this is from like not just this season of Love Island. This is like past Island because we do get all the requests and we always reach out. We send emails, but not everybody wants to come on the podcast or not everyone likes to do podcasts, so we can't get them on. Just to clear that up because I'm like, I don't want you to think we don't like anyone specific. We've asked. We've been talking about this for a while on the podcast. I actually haven't been to a proper 3-day music festival here in the UK.
Not a dirty, grotty, grimy UK festival.
I haven't experienced it, but I now have because we have just got back from Reading Festival.
In a bougie way.
We actually did it in the most bougie way you could. Who are we?
Yeah,
are we
did.
Posh?
We did. We were... I was about to say unfortunately, but it was actually quite fun. We were there actually working, but we were interviewing artists, showing behind the scenes of the Reading Festival. So it was actually, in that sense, fun and very chilled and very relaxed.
Yeah, I feel as though we love working as well. Like it's our favorite thing because it doesn't feel like work, does it? We were there with Snap Nation. It was just unreal. Like getting to go behind the scenes, the backstage areas, interviewing the artists. Like, babe, that's not work. I'd actually pay to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really, really fun. But from a different point, how was the UK festival? How was your first ever UK festival?
So I actually loved it. I thought it was so good. And I'm like, I feel like I've seen stuff about Reading and Leeds Festival online. I didn't think it would be as fun as it was. It was fucking so fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So much funner than Coachella. Sorry, Coachella. But it was just the funnest environment to be in. We were lucky because we were in a guest area. So when we didn't want to be out in the mix, we could kind of go to the guest area, which we networked and met so many, like loads of people.
Yeah, so the guest area is actually located to the left of the main stage, kind of like tucked away and hidden, which is kind of a nightmare, because I think one of the craziest things with Reading is that you've got like the Chevron tent and then the main stage, and it's probably like a 200-meter distance between, but they surely can do a better job with the timing of the acts. So you'll have an act finishing, for example, at 4 p.m. at the main stage, and then another act starting at like 4 p.m. in the Chevron tent. So I kid you not, we got stuck. The best way I could describe it is like everyone with fishes from running from one stage to the other. And we were just legit trying to cross to get back to the guest area. And it took us, which was like a 20-meter distance, took us like fucking 15 minutes. It took ages.
Yeah, you know on Finding Nemo where like the fish go against the net to like break through?
Yes.
That's what I felt like was going on, but we were going in the opposite direction.
It was terrifying.
So yeah, that is one thing I've noticed about like the difference between Australian music festivals, UK, and the one I went to in America, which was Coachella. Everyone runs.
Yes.
They're like, so they have gates, so they can only let certain amounts of people into certain areas, and people queue up at the gate. And when the gate opens, people sprint. They just like run, dodge through the crowd and try to get to the front. And I'm like, babe, they're literally closing the gates once you go. Like, there's so much space here, but everyone is darting, like beelining for the front.
Yeah, it is. People are a different breed.
And
at music festivals.
Well, there was so much running going on and everyone was quite fast. I was like, what are you guys doing? This is like cardio workout. We weren't even running, but I felt like you had to speed walk to
like
avoid.
Stampede.
Yes.
Stampede, which caused a lot of dust. That was something that I did not enjoy. I was literally, this is going to sound disgusting, but when I got back, I had like black bogies with all of the dust like coming up my nose. Like my face was dry. My throat had just so much dust in as well. It was like, from that point of view, it was horrible.
Some people get like a cough, like the music festival.
Well, I don't know if you
can
hear it, but I definitely do sound a little bit raspy.
I mean, I've done my fair share of music festivals. I think we were quite tame at this one.
Yes, no, we were.
So I don't feel worse for wear because sometimes it is a long recovery.
I do feel a little bit rough. So obviously we were there for 3 days. First 2 days, didn't really drink, kind of just like got the job done, got early nights. And then on the last day, it was really cool because obviously we were there for work, which we're going to talk about kind of like the press tent and the guest area and things like that. So there's like a village in the guest area and the press team where basically that's where all the content gets processed.
So when you see on social media all the posts go up and they're coming through so fast, TikTok everywhere, these people are out working. They're like...
So there's like teams. You have people out on the ground who are getting the content and then bringing them to this tent where it gets processed and posted. So because you need to post it live almost. And it's just like, it was absolutely bonkers. It was like minions.
Mayhem.
Something that I found really funny was obviously you had some huge artists there and you always knew when a big artist was going to come because you had the press photographer team who were like little minions, can I say? So you had like the main minion and then all of the press minions like putting up their hands, like getting ready for the big people to come in to obviously
and they had, like,
get the shots
vests on and their cameras in their hands and they're all having like a meeting before they're standing around in a circle. I think they're all getting instructed what to do and then they like march off.
I know.
Go get their content. The lineup for Reading was actually unreal and because we were in our little guest area we could sneak over to the stage and get really close. Who do you reckon your favourite act was?
Favourite act. So, okay, I just want to mention this. This would be an invention for me at a music festival. I feel like you should know all of the artists' songs because obviously then you would be a big fan. But I don't know all of the songs. I think if you could set up something where the lyrics are behind the people singing, if you don't know all of the words or all of the songs like me, you could still get involved and sing.
Yeah, like karaoke vibes.
I think that would be fun. But to answer your question, I really enjoyed the Kooks.
Love.
Really, really enjoyed the Kooks. And something that was really cool is they were basically filming for a movie or someone was filming for a movie and then the Kooks were playing and this was one of their penultimate songs. And then they were like, they basically explained, we're filming for a movie. Can you all go crazy for Tassie Young? And everyone kind of just looked around and was like,
It's so awkward.
who the hell is Tassie Young? So everyone was like half-heartedly like clapping and was like, yeah. And then they said, introducing Rebel Wilson. And then obviously she's a huge actor. And everyone went crazy. And she performed one song on stage for part of this movie. God knows, if anyone knows what this movie could be, that would be cool. But we're technically in a movie now. And she sung Gangsta's Paradise.
So picture this. You're standing in the crowd at Reading Festival watching the Kooks, and fucking Rebel Wilson comes out and sings Gangsta's Paradise with the Kooks.
Yeah.
It was like they had like a guitar playing and stuff. It was the most random thing I've ever been a part of.
She was really, really fun though. And like she got champagne
she was
and like
amazing.
sprayed it. We didn't actually get to see her. I think she must have just come in, did that film and then left. But we did try and run back into the guest area to see if we could see her. And no, she was nowhere to be seen. I have no idea where she went.
Even press were shocked that she was there because they weren't aware. So when we were in the press area, there's like a run sheet of who's coming through at what time. And it's generally like half an hour to an hour before they're on stage.
Yes.
Or maybe afterwards.
And something funny to mention about this is that they've got bullet points of what you can actually do with this artist. So some artists you could have photos with, you could talk to them, but then like some artists, for example, like Chappell was authorized photos only. Travis Scott, nothing. Basically couldn't even speak to him.
No, yeah. So Chappell Roan we weren't able to speak to either.
But we were present with her in the same room. And I'm pretty sure she smiled at us.
Yeah. I'm just like starstruck by that. The fact that we were just in the same, like we saw her just standing there, not performing, just standing there. I mean, like, I just really wanted, imagine if you could have got a photo with her.
I'm sure.
She said no, she is not.
I'm sure if you went up and said, hey, can I have a selfie? I'm sure she would.
No, haven't you seen? She like doesn't like press, she said. She's put boundaries.
Yeah, but technically it would have just been a fan.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't like even fans. She said it. But I do respect this, like a woman having boundaries.
No, but obviously, I'm not going to go, you're not going to go up to her, but if you're like, please can I have a photo?
No.
I reckon we should have just done it.
No, she said, because we were in like the press area, so it was loads of people doing interview press.
We had to be professional.
Would have loved to ask her for a photo, but yeah, we know she doesn't like it, so we accept the boundaries. But like inside, I was like, oh my God, I just love her anyway. So the performance was insane.
One of my other favourite performances was when Royal Otis brought out Sophie to sing Murder on the Dance Floor, because Murder on the Dance Floor has been my all-time favourite song in so long. And we actually walked out by chance. We had no idea that she was coming on. And then I heard, I was like, oh my God, this is like Murder on the Dance Floor. This is so cool. So that we then went, and then I was like, oh my God, she's actually performing, which was like, incredible.
It was
really,
insane.
really fun. And it was like a full circle moment, because that song that they sung, there's something called Hottest 100 in Australia, which happens for their summer, our winter, every year. And they got #1 song this year that's just gone.
Yeah, so they did a Triple J like a version cover of the song.
That was the first time I ever heard the song was on like Triple J in Australia, and I was like, wait, they must be Australian.
They're big in Australia, and they've worked with Triple J, which is an Australian radio station. Matt will know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I always love it when I hear a little bit of Australia when I'm somewhere else in the world. Even having like Rebel Wilson, I was like, yes, my Aussie girl.
Yeah. Do you have any performances that you loved? I know what Jessie's going to say before people ask
Chappell
the question.
Roan, live, insane.
That was one of my favourite performances, but I just thought I'll let Jessie say that's hers and she can explain
Such a great performer. And my little sister Stella loves the song Pink Pony Club. Every single morning when she goes to the bus stop for school, she gets there early so she can like sit in the bus stop and sing Pink Pony Club. I think it's because the bus shelter like echoes, so your voice sounds really good in it. And she sings Pink Pony Club like on the way to school every day, and we have like a little dance party.
Yeah.
And even Will knows the lyrics to Pink Pony Club, which was amazing.
Exactly.
So we were like dancing around, going crazy, singing Pink Pony Club.
It was a lot of fun. Something that actually made me giggle in Chappell's performance was you could really tell the boyfriends that were there because of their girlfriends, because obviously they don't know a lot of the songs, and they're just stood there all in their like Nike Nike tech fleeces and everything, shades on, hat on. They just stood there, not really moving next to their girlfriends, and then their girlfriends just going crazy. And they stick out like a sore thumb. It's hilarious.
These guys just standing there because everyone had like their pink cowgirl hats on.
Yes.
And like you could actually just tell because with Reading Festival, you can buy just 1-day tickets. So many people had just bought the ticket to go to see Chappell.
Yes.
And they were fully like dressed like cunty. That's the only time we're allowed to say that word when it comes to Chappell Roan.
You're serving cunt.
Serving cunt. Sorry guys, we can't. We are dropping the C-bomb today because we saw Chappell Roan on the weekend. So
yeah, it was so sick.
We have permission to.
And I thought it was so cool. Like when you're actually watching, you don't realize how many people are there. And it was only when we saw a clip the day after of how many people was watching, and it was crazy.
So many people.
Crazy.
That is one thing about Reading. It is such a huge festival. I actually had so much fun. I personally think it was funner than Coachella. Like, babes, I'll be investing my money in that next year.
Yeah, well, a lot of people that we're actually speaking to who did festivals out in America, apparently America is just too cool for school, especially in like LA for Coachella or things like that. They just stand there and they don't vibe, they don't jam. You know you're going to get good vibes in England.
The UK always has great vibes. I feel as though the UK do really like just being together as a big group and everyone just gets around each other. I just thought it was awesome. I had such a fun weekend. Mind you, we did do the festival the fancy way. So this is, do you know
We did it bougie.
Bougie. We did get an Airbnb. And this is actually one thing about Reading Festival.
I actually do not regret that. Do you know
amazing.
What? On the way there, I was a little bit like, I kind of want to have the Reading experience and to camp and things like that. Do you know what? After we've done that, I'm so happy we didn't.
It was bloody amazing. I could go home and have a bath.
I'm so happy we didn't. Like, and do you know what? We stayed in the city centre. Reading gets a bit of a rad rap. I feel like when we were posting TikToks and things like that, everyone's like, "Oh my god, like it's disgusting." Can't believe you're there. Yeah, we had a good time. Like, Reading, it was a good time. We were 20 minutes from the festival as well. Crazy how central. Like, how is there a festival in the middle of a city?
And this is one thing about it. Whenever I've gone to music festivals in the past, it feels like you can't come in and then leave and come back in.
Yeah. It feels like you're trapped there for like 4 days.
Yes, it feels like you're trapped. Even if you only have a day pass, it feels like you can't go in the middle of the day and come back in. But you actually can.
You can go out, have a roast dinner if you really want.
And then go back.
And then, yeah. This is also why me and Jessie were doing Bougie, because on the way to the festival and maybe once or twice during the festival, we did pop out for some espresso martinis.
Yeah, we went to a bar and thought, why not have a nice espresso martini out here?
They didn't, to clarify, they didn't do espresso martinis at the festival, and we really, really fancied an espresso martini.
We were quite tired. And just because there were so many people, it was so difficult to like get to the area to get the drink. So yeah, we were being bougie. We were like, what are we doing with our life? Like, we're in our late 20s. Don't look at me like that because you are late 20s now. You're 26.
Mid. I'm mid. You're late.
Late 20s, and I'm still going to music festivals.
You're still keeping up with the kids?
Yeah, still keeping up, but at my own pace. Like, I don't have to stay there for 3 days if I don't want to.
Do you know what? I actually was a different breed when I was a kid. I reckon I could go there, get there on the Wednesday, drink for 5 days, no problem. We only drunk on the last night, and I'm ropey, I'm rusty. I just don't think I could actually drink now for the whole festival every day like I used to and enjoy myself.
Oh my God.
I think it would have written me off. Like even like on the first and second day when me and Jessie didn't have a drink, I'd like got home, and bearing in mind we were in bed by like 10:30. We weren't staying up and going crazy. I was dead in the morning. I was like exhausted.
So tired. I think it's also like marching around town. We were going and like we got Wingstop and tried Popeyes.
Yeah, we were
so
trying
we're like running around Reading, eating
we,
chicken.
We were trying new takeaway foods as well, which was good.
But I think that's one thing. I feel as though there's like this culture that like, oh, you go to music festivals, you have to get really fucked up and you have to like drink the whole time. I'm like, no, mate, you actually don't. It's actually really pleasant going there in the middle of the day. Don't look at me like that.
You kind of do need to do
you
all
absolutely
of that.
don't. He's not a good, you're not being a good role model, babe.
Nah,
no,
you don't.
Kidding.
Just do whatever you're fun. I'm getting an old man these days. I get tired. I like to be in bed. I'm just not Who I
That's
used
so
to be.
fine. We can still enjoy life and not have to cook ourselves.
I know like the first or second day, if I would have stayed out late or done anything, I know it would have just ruined it for the festival. So the way that we did it, we did have a couple of drinks on the last night, have a good time. We were like, we were with the workers, like with the press team, and they all got hammered as well, which was
On the
like
last night,
everyone
yeah.
was just like celebrating a long weekend, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel as though with festivals, it's like this big thing that you have to get really drunk. But I actually find it so fun not doing that. And I know that I'm getting a little bit older now, but like you can
Because
still.
Jessie's bridging 30.
But what's the point in getting so drunk? You can't even remember when you get drunk. I don't know why everyone's so like fixated on always getting like smashed or like just drinking too much. I'm like, it's actually funner when you don't go over the top because you don't feel with shit the next day. You can actually remember your night and you're more in control of yourself. So
hangovers are hanging over these days. I tell you that much.
They're doing their thing.
We felt awful on the Monday.
Monday, we did get really hungover. We were drinking a lot of Prosecco. And do you know, because we were there all day, I think you just lose track of how much we drank. I couldn't tell you how many drinks we had.
Do you know what killed it off for me? When we went venturing and dancing and we went to a Captain Morgan's tent
God.
and we were doing not single shots, double shots of Captain Morgan. And oh my God, I can almost like taste it now.
Why were we shotting Captain Morgan?
I don't know.
Oh my God, do you know, we even went in the Captain Morgan like stand where they're selling the alcohol and we were like standing in there dancing and there were like customers down there dancing with us. What were we doing?
Anxiety.
That's
what we were doing. But actually, we got to speak to an interview and meet some really, really cool people while we were there.
We met loads of artists, which was really cool because as well, I love the support that British local artists get from the festival and from the public. Like the Chevron tent was unreal, the atmosphere in there. But we did speak to as well Leanne.
Yeah, we spoke to Leanne. Really, everyone we spoke to was lovely.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I was just fanning over Leanne. I actually did stutter. I think they cut it out of the video. Because there was just a second where I was like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, she's just so stunning.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Really amazing performer as well.
Oh my God, incredible.
We got to speak to the Dare as well, who's really cool. I got a picture with him with my middle finger up. So at the first one, I was rocking out and then he was just stood there like that.
He's just like that.
I was like, well, hell, let me get my middle fingers up. Like this.
So he's worked alongside Charlie XCX. Like I have a prediction that the Dare is going to absolutely blow up. For those that don't know the Dare, it's I like the girls that smoke cigarettes. How does it go? Yeah. Let me get it up on here. This is what he sings. Which you'd know from TikTok if you're there. But one thing I found really wild is at Reading Festival, they had on the wall all the past lineups
yes,
from over the years and seeing Charlie XCX being a supporting act and then obviously seeing like where she is now.
Yeah.
So I was looking at all of them and it's just insane. There are so many huge names now. Charlie XCX is a great example who were once supporting acts performing there for the first time and now look at them.
Something else that's really interesting, a lot of old festivals were actually sold out and we got speaking to people and this year didn't sell out and actually year after year, you're getting less people turning up to festivals, coming to live music and different things like that, which is interesting. And they thought it was because of COVID. Since after COVID, people are just not wanting to do it anymore.
Yeah. So I would say COVID. I would also say the economy. Y'all always hear me talking about the economy on here. The economy does have a huge impact because that shit is expensive. Like when you think about it, buying all your food and it's a lot of effort as well. Because I stopped going to music festivals a few years ago. I think even after COVID, you come back from COVID and I went to one music festival and you had to social distance and stand in squares. And for me, I was like, I don't want to go back to a music festival. Like what's the point in spending my money? But now they're obviously like there's no COVID restrictions. But those people, when they turned 18 during COVID, why would they ever have the desire to do that? Because they never saw their friends doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then also you get that like loads of pubs are closing down, loads of clubs are closing down. People are just not, people's interests have changed.
We'd love to know what you lot think though. Do you think that partying is going out of fashion?
Yeah, let us know. Did you go to Reading? Who did you like to watch? Who did you like to see? I know I actually did see a clip of the most English thing. Travis Scott performed at Leeds and left early. And then after he left, everyone was just shouting, wanker, wanker, wanker at him, which was really, really funny. But we actually did speak to someone. So his set was supposed to be for about an hour and 40 minutes. And he basically said, I can get that set done in 55 minutes. So that's all he did. Was 55 minutes.
Okay, how did you get all the songs done in 55 minutes? Did he sing them faster or did he just not speak in between?
I don't know. But I actually thought, like, I was a little bit worried going to Travis, but the section that we were stood in was pretty chilled. I was a little bit worried being like, because I know everyone's really, really crazy. And I thought, oh my God, is someone going to chuck something at us? Like, are we going to get like barged
They had extra security
over?
as well.
Yeah, but I don't know for the whole of it, but I know the section that we were in was not as bad as I thought.
No, they definitely had extra security, and I think people are being a little bit more mindful at music festivals, which is great. In saying that, we didn't camp, so we don't know what the campsites were like.
Oh my God, I have seen clips and it looks like a tip.
Really?
Yeah, people leaving rubbish tents, everything. It looks crazy. Do you know what we should actually do one year is after the festival, I know people hang about and actually go searching for things.
William...
Well, I actually saw someone do that and found like someone's bag with like £90 in it.
You want to go do that for £90?
Well, no, that was only one of the things. There's other things you can find.
You're actually so fun. Okay, if that's what you'd like to do, that's what we could have been doing today, babe.
But instead, we're speaking to you all instead.
But that is all we have time for today.
Thank you so much for listening or watching.
And remember to click that like and subscribe button, and we would love to hear from you. Love ya.
Bye.